Thank you, producer, for telling me. Yeah, we're gonna start over again. Look at you. Thank you. Let's start again. My name is Camille Evans, and welcome to Crib Conversations. I'm the EVP of Media at Cinematic Music Group. I want to thank Cinematic, our host, and Johnny Shipes. I'm also the founder of CME Group, and I'm here with friends and colleagues and my inspirational members of music and industry, and we're here tonight to just kind of talk and vibe. Rules of engagement, I keep it nice and short now because I'm just so cognizant of everyone's time. So I have general questions that are open to every single one of you. So you just kind of jump in, Roger Rabbit, jump in as you see fit. And then I always want you guys to kind of promote yourselves at the end. So when I call your name, can you just please let the world know who you are, what you do, and how you got started in the industry? Lyric, let's start with you.
I am Lyrical. I am from Chicago, but I currently reside in Atlanta. I'm the owner of Lyrical Eyes Management, which is a huge management firm in Chicago, and I'm also the owner of 323 Music Group. I am partnered up with Atlantic from one of my artists by the name of Raven Lene. I have 8 artists on my roster right now that I currently manage 8 of them, and I have one that's signed to the label, like I said, with Raven. I've been in the business since 2009. And I got started because my daughter decided that she wanted to get into the music business, and I felt like nobody can manage her. So I took over and did that, and then just perfected my craft. So that's me.
Thank you, Lyric. Sarita, you're up next. I'm just trying to get Mimi in.
Okay, no problem. You gonna let him in first, or do you want me to go?
Just talk.
Okay, great. Hey, everybody. My name is Sarita Oglesby, and I am a public relations and marketing executive based here in New York City. I am currently in several spaces, not just in music, but I work in technology as well as film and television. My career began in 1999 when I was a pre-med student at Spelman College, and I transitioned into wanting to be in the music industry during my freshman year. And, so I've been in the business technically 21 years. So I am excited to be here. I worked from a PR capacity with the likes of Swizz Beatz, Fat Joe, Kid Capri, Busta Rhymes, Joe Budden, to Raheem DeVaughn, Egypt Sherrod, and currently a company called Philo, as well as KSR Recording Artist Hood Celebrity, and Josh X. And I work a young new artist out of Brooklyn, New York by the name of Lola Brooke through Team 80. So I'm excited to be here.
Beautiful. Thank you. Verse, you're up.
Hey everybody, my name is Verse. Love seeing everybody, man. Y'all look beautiful, man.
You're good, right?
Yeah. But I actually started in the music industry. I never thought I'll be here. I went to Presbyterian College in South Carolina. I had a full football scholarship, so I always loved like dealing with people. But I wasn't those like a business major, account major. I actually majored in theater, and I have a degree in theater psychology. So I've always been like a creator. And around that time I was playing football, I was like, dang, what else can I do to have fun? So I found this studio. One of my boys reached out to me, like, hey man, I like what you're doing. Come to my studio. Turns out it's one of the top music studios in Buckhead. And then I'm vibing, start working my way up, meeting people. Then I got the booking manager. Then I got to the director. And then one of my homeboys, like I grew up with, now the hottest artist in Atlanta, Ola Runt, was like, hey man, you doing your thing. Manage me, And I was like, shoot. So that was like 2 years ago. And then my other boys I've met, like everyone I've started to manage, it's crazy. It's like God put me in each other's life. I didn't have to force it or anything. So my producer I managed, he's one of the top producers in the nation now. He just got a track with Lil Baby, Gucci Mane, No Cap. So I manage him. Then I have my own label, One Verse Management, and I want to build out because I have actually 2 brothers in the major leagues for baseball. So it's like I want to build around music. Music like leads you to other opportunities, and just getting to know and connect with people. It's crazy how one person can like change your life. So that's why I'm here.
Beautiful. Thank you, Verse. DJ Stacey Styles.
Hi. First of all, thank you so much for having me. I'm honored, humbled, and really appreciative to be here. And really a great group of people. So it's funny because all of our stories seem like so similar. Like we all have like such a similar little path.
Yes.
But yeah, I started out as an actress, and I was acting, but I never felt it. I never really got into it. Music was always in my heart and soul. I never really knew what to do with it. So I'll tell you the shortened version of the long story. I got thrown into the deep end. So my friend was running a club. I was making mixes at home. Some big names like heard my stuff, and I told her about it. And she's like, "Come down and DJ." I was making like literally mixes at home, nothing to do with DJing whatsoever. So I go to DJ, I bring a tambourine, true story. I show up with a tambourine, I show up with 3 records and like a whole load of CDs. I have no freaking idea what I was doing. I winged it 100% and totally. David Letterman came that night and he was looking to book a party for Paul Schaefer. And he thought it was just my shtick that, you know, like here I am, like this goofy girl, just, you know, like trying to DJ. So I got booked for the party. I started getting booked for all the Saturday Night Live after parties.
Wow.
And from there, I went to DJ school. I got mentored by some of the biggest DJs in the world. I battle now. I could battle with the best of them. So I made myself into something. I mean, it was always in me. It was my passion. My birthday, I was born the 8th day, 8th month at 8:08 p.m. And everyone knows what 808 is. It's my soul. So, and ever since then, it's just a part of who I am. And I've been around the world like 6 times over. I opened up for, you know, lots of big names and attached myself to lots of people who I call now like my nearest and dearest. And aside from all that too, I'm trying to give back. I'm a big anti-drug advocate. I'm trying to help stop the opioid crisis. I'm in and out of treatment centers all the time and trying to help people. I'm trying to help people that are mentally challenged, that don't have a voice for themselves, like people that have been abused. So I'm trying to give back as much as I possibly can, but I'm really trying to help stop the opioid crisis, like wholeheartedly. I'm out there almost every single day trying.
Beautiful. You know, my son, I was talking to my son today and he asked the question like, how do we get into the business? And I said, well, you know, it's part luck, it's talent, and it's just being in the right place at the right time. And it's just really God. And, you know, and everybody has a season. So that's where you're supposed to be. So, you know, and you're doing great. I see what you're doing, you know, for the community. So that's beautiful. Warren, you're up next. Warren Wint.
Warren Wint is, hold on. Yep, I'm here. Thank you, everybody. God bless you. Y'all could have been anywhere else in the world, but you're here with us. You're here with me, and I appreciate that. I'm gonna keep it short and sweet. I'm a hip hop artist, well, hip hop based artist, but I like to say I'm just a super talent because I've been influenced by all sorts of genres. I grew up listening to pop, dance, gospel, jazz, hip hop, R&B, reggae. I come from Elmont, Long Island, New York, and I've been doing music as long as I've known. Actually, as a kid, I started out doing poetry, and I wanted to publish my own poem book, like poetry book, as a 7th grader. And I kind of got discouraged by my guidance counselor because she told me I needed like 1,000 poems. I only had about 100 at the time, and I was just like, you know. And got into music. It was like different spurts because it was different things that motivated me in it. So like, I really started out at this freestyle competition that my boy had. It just started out as a joke. And me and my boy went up there and we were trying to win cash prize. We both bombed. That was the only time ever in my life, fast forward to 2020, that I ever got booed. But you know, I left that night and I told my brother, I said, listen, focus on this. I don't want to do nothing. You know, I wanted to be a doctor. I wanted to be a lawyer, African-American president. I said, forget all that. I want to do this music thing and take it to another level. So fast 2020, been blessed to have been featured on all sorts of platforms such as 106 in Park. I was the hype man after DJ Megatron that passed from Staten Island, God bless the dead. And I also have opened up for CL Smooth, Fred the Godson, rest in peace, Chrisette Michelle, Tiara Marie. I've been featured on Nickelodeon Music, BT Jams, BT Soul, MTV Base, Africa, Shade 45 several times. Music has been featured on Hot 97, Power 105, 94.5 Jam, LA. I've also been featured on Billboard. Yeah, I've been featured on Billboard, WXL, Noisy, Air Milk. Did I mention TRL Breakfast Bars? If I didn't,
you said this was gonna be short and sweet. So
That's the story. And my story it's a long story. It's a story. It's a story of a lot of politics going wrong. It's a story of me dealing with a lot of people, giving them my vision and trusting them with my heart and my talent, and it not going the way I would want it to be. But God always has a plan for his people.
Yes.
So here I am, 2020, before you guys. You know, I have one project in ready to drop my second project, Father's Favorite. Now I'm independent CEO, and I'm just looking to take over the game. You know, I also write. So, you know.
Yeah, Warren, stop. I love you.
I love y'all.
All night, Warren.
I love you.
We love you though. We've had a mission and a journey, and I'm glad, and you always have God in your life. So I'm very proud of you. Ty Cole, you're up next.
I don't know if I could battle that. I mean, that was just, I felt like I was listening to a novel, like an ebook. So let me make mine short and sweet for y'all. So my name is Ty Cole. I just graduated college in 2018, so I'm 24 years old. Got my degree in communication with a minor in marketing. I got my start. Before I get there, I'm an entertainment reporter. Credits with Baller Alert, Music Exclusives, Your Voice Magazine, amongst other platforms. Social media marketer, producer, brand ambassador for skincare lines, model, and I do acting as well. So shout out to Stacey. How I got my start it was after college, and you know, everyone knows when you leave college, you're broke, you got no job, you're just stressed out at your mom's house. What am I gonna do? So my best friend, she worked with a PR company called Lauren Media Group, and she said, "Hey, why don't you come and DJ Self's Gwen and Gibbs?" So I didn't know this was the last year doing it. So I'm like, all right, cool, nothing to lose, so I'm gonna go there. So I go there volunteering, meeting different people. And I was putting the placeholders down. For those who ever done red carpet, you have to make sure the name tags are on the floor. So that's part of my job when I was a volunteer. So I was doing that, bumped into a guy named Wally Bearfield, who gave me my first start. He is the one who owns Your Voice Magazine. And from there, it just jump started and just went off. So I got to interview Brian McKnight, to Ashanti, to this week I'm doing Avant. I got to talk to Issa Rae. I've done many carpets, movie carpets, music carpets. I've talked to many artists. New, young, old. So it's just been such a great journey. And one thing I can definitely say is never give up. A lot of times people feel like, oh, I can't do this, or oh, how can I do this? And I'm always like, you can do this. Like if you literally sit down and you plan on what you want to do, you can make your dreams come true. My mom always says, everyone gets a turn. And I was like, I never knew what that meant. So what does that mean? She's like, everyone gets a turn. When it's your turn, you have to make sure you rock that turn. So I'm like, okay, she's just chatting. But now this is my turn. And now I'm in my turn. So now I got to keep rocking it until, you know, your time is up. Because at some point, there'll be a new Ty Cole. So I'm just happy to be here, and I'm humbled to be young and just to be in a space, and a lot of spaces, a lot of 24-year-olds are not able to be in. So I'm very grateful for that. And I'm happy to be here with you guys, you know. So this is a great opportunity.
Thank you, Ty. That everybody got a time. You're right. And last but not least, one of the funniest sisters in the entertainment business.
Thank you.
Really, Miss Mimi Simpson.
Thank you. Hi, guys. It's such an honor to be on the panel with such an accomplished group of people. Congratulations to all of you on your accomplishments. I'm honored to know y'all. I'm going to slide y'all my number later. I am Mimi Simpson. I'm the Red Assassin. I am a stand-up comedian. I've been doing stand-up full-time for about 8 years coming up. I tour with Michael Blackson, and I tour with Damon Wayans, with Shula King, DL Hughley, and some other ones. I've worked with everybody. I worked in corporate America for a long time, for like 10 years. Yeah. I worked in technology, sales. I loved it, but I just, I was good because I was good in sales because of me. It wasn't, I saw, you know, a long time ago that, you know, I was making these people all this money, but, you know, I'm doing all this time, but I'm building something for somebody else. And me accomplishing these like big accounts, it wasn't because the company I was working for was so great. It was because they liked me. You know, it was because I was funny, I was intuitive, I was, you know, I knew how to figure out problems. So I was just like, you know what, if I can do this for somebody else, I can do this for myself. And that's what made me want to get into entertainment. So after corporate America, this is before I started comedy. So after corporate America, I went to film school, New York Film Academy. I started producing music videos. I did a couple for some local artists here in New York. And then I got a job working as an assistant writer on Meet the Browns. So when I was working there, I worked with some other stand-up comics. They were other writers on the show, and they were very encouraging for me to start stand-up. I've heard it my whole life that I should be a stand-up comedian. You should do stand-up, you should do stand-up. And even in my meetings, my business meetings, where we talking, you know, their communications platforms and, you know, $100,000 deals, they cracking up at what I'm saying. But I'm delivering like real information, but I'm just funny, I guess. And so that's what made me like, okay, I'm gonna get into it. Initially, there was a turning point that made me start stand up, because I've heard it my whole life. I really wasn't interested in it. But tragedy, unfortunately, made me get into stand up comedy. I won't get too deep into it, but my mom just had a conversation with me, and she was like, listen, Mimi, when I'm sad, and about a death in the family, we had a death in the family. I'm from Chicago, so we have a lot of deaths in the family, unfortunately. And she was just like, you know, when I'm sad and I don't want to get out of bed, she was like, you know what I do? I think of you. And I think of something funny you did or said. And she was like, I could be in the middle of tears and I will start busting out laughing. She was like, that's a gift, you know, and God blesses you so you can bless his children. The gift of laughter is something that you should share because people need it. I know I'm not the only one that goes through stuff. You know, other people do too. And she was like, that is a blessing. I really want you to try it. And I didn't even know how to become a comedian. So I literally Googled it. Like, how do you become a comedian? And it said, take a stand-up class. And so I took a stand-up class at the Comic Strip in New York. And that's the place where Seinfeld started. It's where Chris Rock started. The owner of the place, he managed Eddie Murphy and Seinfeld. So I took an 8-week course there, and I was hooked afterwards. It was such a beautiful experience. You know, stand-up comedy is a very spiritually rewarding job, you know, because, you know, life sucks for everybody. To be able to go to, for it to be your job to go and create happiness is, you know, it's just, it's a blessing. So I do it because I love it, you know, because corporate America pay way better. But no, I get to travel and have fun, and yeah, so no, I love it. I love it. Like you said, our time will come. So, you know, it's a journey. So yeah, it's beautiful.
So let's try to segue into our first question, and I really want to kind of go into the vibe of what's going on in the world. So how do you all feel that the industry as a whole reacted to the COVID and the quarantine? And how did you personally have to adjust yourself and your specialty in what you do with this quarantine vibe?
Who would you like to go first, Camille?
Whoever jumps in, sis. And let's try to get like concise and brief. I love all of y'all, but right. Okay, go ahead.
Hi. Okay, so I'll start. So COVID really advanced how fast the world needed to adjust to technology, and we had to all learn how to pivot very quickly. And what music did specifically was saved us in the middle of a global pandemic, as I would like to say. The advent of you know, the intersection of technology and the craft, we saw really help amplify communities that usually never get recognized. For example, the DJ, who was always the cornerstone of the community is now formally like the celebrity that they deserve to be and that they once were. So, you know, D-Nice with Club Quarantine took it up and really elevated the community to a whole nother level. And then what it also did was provide a new way for artists to connect with their, they should have always been connected through Instagram and having more interaction with people. I feel like we're living in a society where, you know, things are, you know, you have more touch points with people, but it forced people to really connect with people on a very genuine level. It forced them to really be able to have very sincere, genuine connection with their fan base, but also to really have a point of reference for a cause and initiative. And then, like I said, I mean, so we were dealing with two things that happened. Obviously, we have a global pandemic, and then we have civil unrest. So it's now forcing artists to really have music that really has a profound statement of, you know, real context, and really being able to have a voice when they sometimes are often silenced for that. So I think that the music is what kept us alive. I think that it is a vibration, and that music is love. It's the one thing that brings us all together, no matter our race, no matter what our conditions are. It's the one thing that connects us all. You can always remember who you were at a specific moment in your life and a time frame. So this has really amplified our industry and the importance of people having something of validity to say. So
Right.
I think that's what it is.
Nice.
Oh, awesome answer.
Thank you.
I guess I'll jump in really quickly. So what I'd say is, I think it helped my career a lot more. So being a reporter, you're always on carpets, and you know, a lot of times you can get booked, you may not get booked. Where it's like, you know, you're kind of in this weird gray area. So once COVID had happened, it was an unfortunate time, but also it was a blessing in disguise for like reporters like myself. Whereas like now we are really asked, like, hey, on your own platform, interview my artist, or interview the talent, interview one of my clients. So for me, it just kind of pushed me a little bit further into my career, which I definitely appreciate, and I love that. Even being here with Miss Camille, I mean, she found me right off of Instagram. Was like, hey, you know, I see what you're doing. Are you interested? So really, Instagram has helped me a lot, but it's also helped me disconnect as well. I'm always on Instagram, so whether I'm reporting, whether I'm doing social media management for the job that I work with, a lot of times it's time consuming and it's consuming of my life. And something that Dr. Dre said, and I definitely resonate with, is, you know, of course you should connect with your fans, but have some mystery to it as well. So what I do is I actually just connect because I'm so overwhelmed. So I meditate. My mentors say, hey, two of my mentors say you should meditate, you should work out 4 times a day. I already eat right. You know, just getting my life together and just making sure that I feel okay and comfortable. So when I am on here with you guys, I don't have to feel like I'm overwhelmed and I'm drained. So I think it's a balance that we all can definitely learn from, and we all should be learning from. And just, you know, have fun takeaways. Yes, be on Instagram and sure, see what's happening, but also I think the whole point of this was to reset and, you know, take time for yourself. So you should definitely take some time and disconnect, reset, get to know yourself. You're in the house more often now. A lot of us don't even realize, even recognize what's in our houses, because the media, you all can attest to, we're always outside every night, Monday through Thursday. There is always an event. There's a red carpet. There's this. You're on a meeting. You're in a panel. You know, and then Friday, you're out. You're lit. You're turned up. But it's like, when do you really get to sit at home and look at the 4 walls and get to know who you are? And I think that was also the best thing that was able for me to get to know who I was as not just Ty Cole, the personality you guys see, but who was Tyler.
Yeah.
So.
Very nice.
I think if I could just jump in for a second, sorry. I love what you guys said though, by the way, and I love what you said too about you know, music brings everyone together, and it's always a time and place that you remember. It's such a profound, real thing. But I'm not gonna lie, when COVID first started, you know, I was worried. I was really worried as what, you know, what's going to happen. There's going to be no music coming out. There's not going to be any events. There's not going to be anything. And everyone, I have to say, got so creative, and it all came from the heart. I mean, you know, you had to. That's you know, it's our passion. It's in us, and we have to be creative. And just to see what everyone's come up with, you know, now drive-in concerts. Like, who would have thought that we're going to have drive-in concerts? You know, Live Nation canceled like so many things like in through September, but now like other companies are coming out. Like, you know what? No, we're going to have music. We're going to have drive-in music, and we're going to make the best of this right now. So I think it's phenomenal just seeing like how creative we can all get by, you know, putting our 2 cents in and really making something out of nothing. So I love it. I think it's like, you know, we started from nothing, and now we're building all back up again into something greater.
Nice.
Yeah, I totally agree. I love everything that you guys all said. I would actually replicated and repeated. Just to add on to it, I would say that it definitely caused a major innovation amongst everybody involved in entertainment, whether it's media, as an artist, whatever it is that you're doing. I love it personally because on quality, and I felt like, as you all said before about the world getting this reset, I felt like that's what COVID did. And I'm a very spiritual person, so I truly believe that, you see this conversation being created, about equality and rights and what's right and wrong. And I feel like it's something that's always needed to be a highlight of our lives individually and together. But I feel like this COVID situation, this pandemic, really brought that, in the forefront. And I'm truly thankful for it because I truly believe in love. I truly believe that, we are all connected in some shape or form. And, really time to utilize our resources, be able to give back to the world. And together we can shine people, but really, exemplify the greatness that is our people. So, that was.
Lyric, who
yeah,
that was
I
you?
was about to.
Yeah, because I want you to also talk about how your artists have been affected and what's their vibe like.
Well, if I may, if I may,
Norman, let Lyric go and we'll come back to you.
Okay.
For me, I'm a very spiritual person as well. So I believe that everything is a design by God. I feel like COVID, personally, it affected my house. It affected my household. It affected loved ones. I've lost a couple of people to it, and I still think God is amazing. And he literally just shut the world down. You know what I mean? Like he just shut every single thing down without anybody being able to do anything. However, for me, I have the gift of discernment, and the way that he set me up, he kind of had already prepared me for this. So I had a stair step like situation that I give to all of my artists. So I always plan 3 months ahead. So when all of this stuff started happening, all of my artists were every single one of my artists was in the studio. Every single one. And I didn't know why I was forcing them to go in the studio, but they were in the studio. We completed EPs. We had singles being ready to be put out. We had videos already shot. So it kind of just, for my artists, I have one artist that only had like 4,000 followers. She's at 15,000 now. And live actually worked for her. She was on everybody's live. Every single person. She hit Tory Lane's live. She was on everybody's live. It was she just happened to get on there. And I kind of feel like COVID was a blessing in disguise. You know what I mean? Like it prepared us. It cleaned the world up. It helped us in so many ways. It hurt us as well. For the music business, though, I really feel like I'm kind of leery on a conversation about this, just because I feel like we could have actually, once we figured out what this was, and it did take a long time for us to figure it out, but I feel like the music business in a whole, we could have did more. You know what I mean? Because like I'm from Chicago, so I've managed damn near everybody in Chicago. Dirt, Tink, I've had everybody. And I would have liked to see, after we figured this out and we knew the risks of it, I would have loved to see one artist from every state that was a big artist, like literally go out in the community and talk to us to tell us to go back in the house. You know what I mean? Or sit down or stay safe. And, not trying to put themselves at risk, because we lost a lot of people, you know what I mean? And me being from Chicago, it's gun violence everywhere. And me being in Atlanta, just with what just happened, is violence out here. So I feel like the music business is we impact so many people that because we're in our second phase. My mother's an internal medicine doctor, so this isn't over. It's not going to be over anytime soon. We have to protect ourselves. So now I feel like music took over in more of a capacity. So I'm hoping that we're able to bring more people in to give them conversations of why you need to stay in the house, why you need to wear a mask, why you need to sanitize just to protect yourself. So it's been a blessing. you know, it's been a blessing in disguise. I'm more into myself. Like I told you before when we first met, like I was never in the house. I'm always on tour. I'm always doing something because I have a lot of artists and I'm always on the front line. So this is the first time that I literally got to rest. I was like, let me not complain to God. Like, oh my God, I'm ready to get out the house. I haven't been at home. I moved to a new crib in March and I literally have still not really been home because I still been working. So that's kind of my
Warren,
Thanks to that.
do you have anything else that you want to add?
Yeah, I just wanted to say on something, like, basically, I was gonna say that I know some artists.
Can everybody mute their mics? I don't know. I hear baby. Go ahead. While he's talking, go ahead, Warren.
I know some artists, and myself included, I know some artists, you know, for example, like they shut down a lot of gigs, they shut down a lot of like clubs to a certain degree where, you know, artists aren't getting paid for performances and appearances and things like that and hosting gigs. But I think it gave us a chance to really dig deep within ourselves and tap into another level of creativity, another level of humility that helps us as individuals and puts back into the people and puts back into the community. I totally agree with everything that everybody said, especially what you said, Lyrical. And yeah, you know, I just feel like even though we've been affected in that regard, it has caused us to be able to dig deep within our souls and be able to navigate through all the resources we have and really realize like, hey, we can get on IG Live and talk to people more. We can DM each other and really pay attention to these DMs and really give people an ear or listen. Or we really can check through our emails. We really can give these people a time of day and just figure out how we can get through this together. You know, so
I think it literally forced celebrities to come back down to reality to understand like you're still human. You know what I mean? And there's no way to get away from things. And no matter who we are, like we are still like we still human. We still bleed the same. And I think it brought everybody back down to reality. So the reason that live became so important is because now we're all in the house. The whole world is in the house. So you don't have anything to do but watch live. Live was better than TV. Live was better than cable. Live was better than anything. So I think it forced like big name celebrities to like sit down and like get back to quote unquote, you know, the regular people, but regular people really took over. You know what I mean? Because I'm still regular as far as I'm concerned. And it made people understand the importance of like more so love. You know what I mean? Just love and peace and just finding yourself. Everybody's in tune with themselves. So I think it was a blessing. I mean, God, it's in the Bible. Right. This is all in the Bible. It's all written. So.
Me, I know you come. Your medium is not music. It's comedy, and so a lot of what you do is on the road. But what I found interesting about the comedians is they became very political, you know, and I didn't hear that voice before. So did that change you in a certain way? I know Blackson is now touring again, but did that change you, this whole COVID kind of change your perception from comedy to more seriousness?
Oh no, I always been woke. The sets that you see me do in like the arenas are different than the comedian that I am, you know, in regular clubs and stuff. So I've always spoke on, you know, our issues. I've been black as fuck, you know, so I believe, you know, comedians, the best comedians, they say something, you know, just like music is a form of therapy. I think comedy is too. And if you don't leave a comedy show with a new perspective on something, then you didn't go to the right show. Honestly, this COVID shit has stressed me out. You know, like y'all are handling it well. I've been smoking a lot of weed. Okay.
I started smoking weed on this on quarantine. So
listen, I've been having to get high. Okay, like this shit is too much. You know, the civil unrest and then, you know, I am multiracial, so to have civil unrest within you is a whole nother type of it's a whole nother type of demon. I need my reparations is what I'm saying. I really hope the government to do our DNA test for free, because we should not have to pay to learn where we from. I need to know which one of you motherfuckers stole one of my grandmas and sent her over here and got me in this crazy ass country. But they don't respect black people, black women. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I've been trying to figure out. I've been getting high and trying to figure out who owed me some money. You know what I mean? Somebody owed me for all this I'm going through. I know this is my fault.
Okay, so since you touched on the civil unrest, let's segue to Black Lives Matter. Big changes in America. And I was so proud because New York has never been known to be a forefront for civil change and revolution. You know, LA, the Midwest, we know that, but New York, it takes a hell of a lot to get New York pushing. So I want to know how you guys felt, Verse, you start, how you guys felt about this whole Black Lives movement. Do you feel that we're kind of like going down now, like the momentum has gone? And was there enough voice from our mediums, entertainment, comedy, music, DJ, whatever? So Verse, you start.
I think, first of all, this is the most interesting time humanity has seen, because there's never been a global pandemic, then there's civil unrest at the same exact time. I think there's a direct correlation with the quarantine and with the protests. Some people out here in the streets just because, I see some people protesting, let me go out there and try to do it and shake some up. Then you got some people who's actually serious, trying to make a difference, do it the right way, non-violent. Then you got those rioters or an extreme, actually. You know, it's so many different things. And I feel like what it all comes down to is we understanding that we all brothers and sisters. We're killing each other. We're living in a time where a hug now and a gun is still looked at as both being fearful. This could kill me. You got people who don't even want their own family coming to them because they think that could be corona. Then you got, like Lyrical say, you got Chicago. You got 8-year-old daughters being killed in Atlanta. Like, we're in a time now where it's crazy. And with us being powerful positions as music, we influence that. So that's where I want to get to, is like, I manage rap artists who talk about killing, selling drugs, calling women out their name. So what am I doing? What are we doing? What am I doing that rap artists can have a direct correlation with what's going on and having their voice, which music was created for? That's it. I don't know if that answered your question, but.
No, it did. And I'm sure everybody else will fill in the pieces as well.
Okay. This is Sarita. I feel like I'm gonna have to disagree with you about New York not being progressive, because New York also like led the way last year in the in one of the enactments of the Crown Act, for example, for women of color, which is something that we have had an issue with about even how we show up in the world as just who we are. So in terms of the Black Lives Matter movement, the advent of COVID forced us all to stop, right? We've all said that in one reiteration or another. But to see, and we've seen Black Lives Matter play out, you know, on camera with Eric Garner to Sean Bell to, you know, the list goes on and on and on and on, and still is growing by the day. And so, you know, this was the first time to really have a real time where everybody got to see hyper-violence towards people of color and our Black bodies being killed in real time, with an officer who had a knee against someone's neck for 8 minutes and 46 seconds. And that's the first time that we ever realized how long 8 minutes and 46 seconds really looked. And it's by the simultaneous movement the same day where Mr. Cooper, who was watching a bird in Central Park, was approached by Amy Cooper, who filed a police report that was incorrect and could have possibly even got him put in jail and you know, and also having some other things. And so I think that artists have always reflected the time, right? We go back to our parents, you know, with Nina Simone and Muhammad Ali, and even comedians like Dick, I forget his name, but, you know, like at that time, Richard, you know, all those individuals, they have always had a voice in Black community issues because they realize their power as influencers in the culture. And so now we're getting back to that. But I don't think that many artists ever, like, you know, ever abandoned it. They're just not getting their airtime. right? So you have the Talib Kweli's of the world, Raheem Devon's of the world. You have, you know, the J. Cole's of the world and Kendrick Lamar, who get a little bit more radio play, but they have always been the dead presidents and those who have always had a voice in social activism, social justice, and really pushing the envelope forward towards justice initiatives. It's just that they didn't always have visibility. And I think that's the change in this, is that now those artists can now emerge and really have something profound to say, so that, you know, again, we can push the agenda forward and really like have real conversation. Like you look at Killer Mike, for example, or you look at David Banner, they have always been voices for their community, right? And I think that now they, you know, like they're in press conferences now with the mayor of Atlanta, in addition to, you know, having real voice in terms of like real law, you know, law enforcement, and making sure that like defunding is really understood in Black communities that are often underserved, you know, with underemployment. We have prison recidivism and a number of other initiatives that are, you know, designed to keep us in a position where we're relegated, versus now we can change this, you know, and I think the momentum is right there. We just have to continue to keep pushing the envelope forward. And we as consumers and people who shape the culture have a responsibility to make sure that we keep that same energy, period. So it's on us too.
Amen, sis.
I think the Black Lives. Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
For the Black Lives Matter movement, I think for me, like for all of us, it stressed me out because I have a 17-year-old that is trying to get a car, that's an athlete, that is a good student, but he's Black. And my nerves, I'm so hard on him now because I'm so scared, so nervous. Don't want him to go outside because of COVID, then don't want him to go outside because I don't want him to get killed. Don't want him to ride in a car with his friends. Like my nerves, and so all I've been doing is literally praying. And I just think, Verse, to answer your question, I've dealt with like so many rappers, and I have a rapper right now that's actually from Mississippi, that was on the same stuff in terms of, you know, the drugs, the guns, and all of that other stuff. But for me, when I talk to other artists that come to me for management, you know, I just tell people to like change the narrative up, because right now we're in a time where nobody's gonna, like, we all know how this business goes. You really won't get a placement if you got guns everywhere. You really want, you know, if you're talking about certain things, it can get put on somebody's desk and it might get pushed over. If you're not really a money, they're not going to look at it anyway. You know what I'm saying? So I always tell people, like, I'm not trying to switch your artistry up, but I do want you to make some money. And I do want, at a time like this, nobody really wants to talk about killing. You know, the drugs, yeah, you can do whatever you want with that, but like nobody really wants to get in the perspective of, we already got too much killing going on, so like let's talk about something different, and not to really come at their head, you know, in a different way to make them feel like you really trying to tell them how to do their shit. But if you really want to make some money, like switch it up a little bit. So I think that's one way that my conversations go with male artists that, you know, want to just kill everybody and want to, you know, everybody a bitch and all that other stuff. It's like, but you really ain't gonna get no money. Like, you know what I'm saying? You will. Once you get one, you can do whatever you get once you get to the industry, but like right now, it's just not the time. It's not the time.
I think that.
Oh, go ahead, Mimi.
Go ahead, because I spoke already. Go ahead, Ty.
I spoke too. Listen, go ahead.
Speak again.
So I think that now is a time where we stop playing as pawns in the white man's game, and we actually like work as, you know, we rookies, we kings, we queens. We supposed to move how we want to move. We are done accepting the crumbs in which the white man calls free, you know. So I think that, you know, us being in this situation, we have got to hone in on exactly how we're being oppressed. And now that we understand it, you know, I think it's our job to get off of it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think I'm very spiritual too. I think everything happened for a reason. You know, George Floyd's death was very symbolic. You know, that knee on his neck, that was very symbolic for how the white man has had his knee on our necks forever. And now when we say get your knee off our neck, we mean it in every way. Like, give us our money in education, get your knee off my neck. You know, stop flooding our streets with drugs and guns, get your knee off my neck. You know, and I want I want people to understand too that everything is not black on black violence. That is a trick of the man. You know, every time there's a altercation with the police, you always see a high number of shootings in Chicago. That is because the Klan has infiltrated the police. Please know that the FBI was investigating in like 2017. They really didn't come out with no report on it, but there's a large number of Klansmen in the police, and that's why we're saying defund the police, because they don't do the right research to make sure that the people who are supposed to be protecting and serving us don't hate us, you know, and when they come into contact with us, it's not as violent and harsh as, you know, as it is. It shouldn't be that way. So us understanding that, you know, like even during the protests, how, you know, sometimes the peaceful protests will go into riots and looting, and that would be white people doing that. It would be white people dressed in all black, Antifa, they got black masks on. They were the ones inciting the looting. So us not being fooled by what the white man has been doing forever, and that includes violence in our community. All these shootings, do not think they're black on black violence. If you look at some of them, people getting shot in the middle of the forehead, those are snipers. Those are antagonists who are trying to take away from our narrative of black excellence, and so they want to change it to, oh, but look at y'all killing each other. So understand, it's not just us doing this. We really need the police, and we need somebody. I think Black Lives Matter, with all that money that they got, they need to make a system that polices the police, because the whole system is messed up. It's not messed up. It's working how it's supposed to be working. It was put in place to enslave us. It's doing exactly what it's supposed to be doing. So now that we understand that, I think we need police to police the police, because I have had horrible interactions with, you know, law enforcement for years. I've had 3 cousins killed by the police. 3. 2 in Minneapolis, 1 in Chicago. Shot in the back in Chicago, unarmed. You know, the police officer got off. You know, I had another cousin who was killed by Minneapolis police. He was beat so bad he had a pumpkin head, and he died 4 days later of a brain aneurysm. And they ruled it natural causes. Like, what 28-year-old dies of natural causes? That wasn't natural. He died because he got hit in the head so many times by the police. And it was never investigated. There's so many of these stories out there. So us understanding that and us putting it out there and just saying, hey, we don't got to take this no more. Like, that's not your job to kill us if we make a mistake. It's not your job to kill us if we drunk and fuck up, you know, and they don't understand that, but their supremacy makes them think that, you know, that's their job to kill us. Like, no, that's not what you're here for. Right. So us understanding that and us, you know, figuring out, okay, so now that we get this, how do I make a difference? You know, and me, you know, I'm a proud weed smoker. And
there she go, back to her weed.
Yeah, back to my weed. I work with a weed company called Higher Purpose Delivery. And, you know, we help people deal with the shit that the world delivers, because it is, you know, it's rough out here, and everybody can't take, you know, other drugs and weed. You get high, you think, you strategize, and you mobilize. So that's what I've been doing.
I personally think
that they shouldn't send out 2 white cops. I think when they send cops out, your partner should be of a different race. And I don't understand why there's so many white cops on the police force anyway. Like, why is it that they send out?
Because they joined the police force to do fuck shit. That's why.
Oh yeah, I know the bullshit they did, but I'm just saying, like, don't send 2 white motherfuckers out. Send a black one and a white one out, or send a white one and an Asian one. Like, it shouldn't be like at this point. It's too much.
I think all of it, I think everything right now is going to lead to something so much greater and so much better, because I personally can't even believe how naive so many people are. Honestly, like, I'm white. I grew up on Long Island, but I've had every nationality forever as my friend. My mom's a graffiti artist, so I didn't grow up like as like the regular, you know, staple white girl from Long Island, but I am. and I've always like attached myself with every ethnicity, every background, everything. My friends are like, you know, the perfect rainbow all the time. And everything that's been happening, I cannot honestly believe how people live in a bubble and they never saw this before. They pretended not to see it. They turned a blind eye. Somebody put something on Facebook and it said, if that your neighbor's house is on fire, you're going to call 911 and you're going to say, you know, their house is on fire. You're not going to say, can you spray my house too? We care about your house, but your house is not on fire. And that, like, I've been repeating to so many people because I feel like that's the essence of it. And like now people are understanding really, of course, all lives matter, but that's not all lives matter, but Black lives matter. Like you guys, everyone that's, you know, the whole Black community matter, and you've been swept under the rug, and it's been hell. Honestly, it's been hell. And I've seen it, and I know from it, and I understand it. But so many people, I can't even believe, I can't even put into words how many people didn't understand that until now. So it all goes, you know, for a reason, for a greater purpose. And all these deaths, like, you know, they didn't die in vain, because their death is making a huge, huge difference from here on forward. At least I really, really, really hope so. Yeah. And you said something before and I wanted to touch on it, and I don't remember what it was, and I'll think of it, because you said something really, I was like, oh yeah, all right, I'll think of it. But
so I want to go. So
the white people, sorry, white people, the white people that were in all the videos. It's insane for people to say that the rioting was, you know, like the Black community. If you really look at the videos, I'm sorry, but it's very, very, very little Black people that are you know, breaking the windows and stealing. You see them stealing alcohol and running down the street, and like it's such a greater thing that's going on right now. And I don't know if anybody even knows really the whole big picture, but I do think that it's changed for the better.
In a world full of Karens, we need more Stacey. Okay, period. I say that because it's unbearable and mind-boggling and mind-blowing that it took for a simple analogy for me to say, well, my house is on fire, your house is on fire, for people to understand that. Where it's like, at the end of the day, we all are born with intuition, and we all have more than ourselves. So you can tell from right from wrong. When you're like 3 years old, you know, like, damn, I probably shouldn't hit him and have that basketball, because you know that's wrong. So it's like, you know, damn, my knee's on his neck. I probably should not be doing that. You know right from wrong. My thing is, I don't want this to be a trend. But at the end of the day, Black Lives Matter is a lifestyle. When I see companies, they say, oh, we're going to give $100 million to Black creators. Are you going to give that just for now? Or are you going to continue to give that even after? And also, where's that money going? I could throw out a bunch of numbers. I'm going to give Cinematic Music Group $100,000. But where is that going? To what department? To where? Who? How are they all going to get that? Is there taxes involved? Because you can't just give it a whole lump sum of money without having some kind of tax to it. And I feel like sometimes we forget that as well. The money is not going to get us to where we want to be at the end of the day. We need to make sure and understand that we are a collective and cohesive unit. And even in our own community, you know, there is still colorism that's happening. There is still us divided with each other. You know what I'm saying? You have people saying, oh, I want someone who's exotic, who, you know, then you want to mention angry Black woman, where it's like, you can't say that. So you touched on us looking at these celebrities for answers. No, they didn't sign up to be a politician. They signed up to be a rapper or R&B artist. And my thing is, if you don't know nothing about what's happening, do not speak on it.
So, but I feel like people have a responsibility, though. I do. I feel like
hold on, Ty. I do want to touch on that topic, because are we supposed to be role models? The executives, the people in the forefront, the people on the stage. I mean, there's a balance, right? And so I want to hear that from you, because now we're into this cancel culture, right? So everybody canceling each other out, and I'm canceling you. So go ahead, talk about this. This
love conquers all, and being in the spotlight, being in the celebrity, you know, realm of things. You're given a responsibility. God put you there for a reason. Like, use it, make a difference, help people, create a better tomorrow. You're given this huge opportunity. It's if you think about it, it's a very small select few that have a voice. Like, use it well, use it to make a difference for the next generation, for this generation, for your neighbors, for anything. Start with one person, one thing. I feel like it's our responsibility to try and change everything for the better.
It's our responsibility if you know your facts. My thing is, I don't want somebody who has a huge platform and then they start representing us and they don't know anything. A lot of times people feel pressure to say things. And
I see what you're saying.
At the end of the day, it is our responsibility to use our platforms, but if I don't know any information, what I'm going to do is I know I have the resources to tap into somebody who I'm cool with probably, or someone who knows somebody else, and I'm going to ask them, what resources should I put on my platform to share with my audience?
Like, be humble and ask, yeah.
Yeah, I am not literate in the conversation. I don't understand what's happening. I'm not going to hop on a platform because I feel pressured. Because at the end of the day, if I feel pressured and I start saying something and I say the wrong thing, now my whole 1.5 million followers say, well, what is he talking about? He sounds crazy. So at the end of the day, if you are an influencer, if you are a celebrity, if you are in a position of power, it is your duty, yes, to make sure you're spreading the message, but have the right facts. Do not just hop on these platforms and just speak. My mom always says the best people who know what they're talking about are those who listen. A lot of us are not listening. We're hopping on these platforms, we're saying anything, and now we're upset when people are looking at us like we're crazy. And another thing as well, too, at the end of the day, if I see somebody who is of my own race, I'm not going to hop on a public forum and embarrass you. I feel like you get embarrassed enough. What I'm going to do is, if I am that cool with you, even if I'm not that cool with you, and I've done it many times, I will personally DM you and say, hey, listen, I saw what you said. Personally, I don't agree with you, and I want to understand, where is your mindset at, so I can fully understand, so I can educate you. Because what you're saying right now, one, is putting you in deep water, and two, it doesn't make any sense. That's what we need to do, because at the end of the day, they're gonna always publicly shame us. They do it all the time. But if we are a cohesive unit and we want to be stronger in numbers, we have to tap into our brothers and our sisters, let them know, hey, listen, what you're saying is not okay. And let me explain to you why. Do you not understand what's happening? Take this down. Let's have a conversation. That's why we have conversations. That's the purpose of this forum right now. Crib conversations. So when I leave here, I'm going to walk out of this conversation, hopefully understanding and learning more knowledge that I can take to my own audience and give them. Because I may come out of here not understanding something instead of me speaking. This whole time I was listening to you guys saying your piece and your responses, because I'm like, okay, let me hear what you have to say. I don't know what I want to say yet, but let me listen. Let me have ideas spark. I'm not gonna hop on and just give an answer to Camille because, you know, I'm on this panel. If I don't know something for the next 5 questions, I will sit here and be quiet and learn. And that's what we need to do. We need to learn and listen.
Educate ourselves. We are in the house all this time, ain't nothing open. You have nothing but time to learn. Educate yourself on what's going on history, so you can speak on stuff. There's so much information out there. Documentaries, the African American, watch it on Amazon Prime. Watch it. Understand where we come from. You can't know where you're going until you know where you've been. We are lost as a people because we don't have no roots. So us understanding our roots is imperative for us to move forward as a people. And you know what? I'll say this too. I took this time to educate myself on a topic that I was ignorant on in the past, and that was in the LGBTQ community. I have, as a comedian, I have said some things, and, you know, I've had views on them just because I didn't understand, you know, and I watched something on Netflix about the trans and the LGBT community, and it was a light bulb. It was, ignorance is curable. So I am not down for the cancel culture, because people can learn, people can grow. I've learned, I've grown, you know, and you cannot cancel someone because you don't know their stories. You don't know what got them to that point. I've been banned on Facebook for the last month because I've been calling white people crackers. It is because And I'm part cracker. You know, it is because of my life experiences with white people. So yeah, if I have met some crackers, you know, so why can't I say that? But then, you know, as I grow in my career, they're gonna go Google some tweets like, oh, Mimi Simpson called white people crackers. Well, these people was acting like crackers to me. So I can't call them crackers when they clearly acting like crackers. So yeah, I don't believe in a cancel culture. I believe that you can learn from things, and sometimes people make mistakes. Sometimes people say things that they don't understand or they don't mean, and they can be educated, and it is curable. Ignorance is curable through education, through knowledge. Just if you want it, it's out there for you. There's a documentary, a YouTube, there's something to educate you on whatever it is that you ignorant on. If you ignorant on Black Lives Matter, on COVID, if you ignorant on our culture, there's something out there that can educate you so you are not ignorant. And so these people with these platforms, I think that that's their PR agent's job to educate them, because that's their job, is to move them forward. I love Cardi B.
Sarita, that's your job?
Okay, so yes, I have a responsibility, right? And I can prepare talking points for days. I am very knowledgeable about a number of topics, from social activism to medicine. However, when you get in front of a camera, whose responsibility is it for that person to share that information? It's on the artist.
Yes.
I can prepare you for days. I can tell you exactly what to say, the tonality, the intention, inflection, and everything. However, you, to your point, have a social responsibility to make sure you internalize that information. So that is on you. It is not on her representation to do that, because you don't know. They have sat in media training for hours. When Camille and anybody who's ever worked in a record label will tell you, they spend thousands of dollars to prepare an artist to get in front of a television. And if that person still does not internalize what is said, you know, whose fault is that?
Right.
Should my job be at risk because of you making a mistake? No, you're a human being. No. You're an adult. And at the end of the day, you have a responsibility to internalize that information for you, because you look like the people who are suffering, or you are the person who's suffering. So it's, I don't agree with that.
Very, very true. Like, that's very, very, very true. I have artists who, every time like I'm about to interview somebody, their publicists would give me talking points, and they would sit them down and say, listen, this is his interview style. He's gonna probably ask you this. He's gonna ask you this. Here is the list of questions Ty Cobb will ask you if they ask me to send them the questions. Now, the publicist can say, hey, we're not gonna touch on these points. However, once we're on air and I'm talking to whoever I'm talking to, if they give me a little instinct or to add on to what they're saying off a question that this will be not to ask, but they already touched on it, I'm going to touch them, because I think that's my job, to get the story. Now, however they decide to answer, it's not going to be on me, because I'm doing my job. I respected the publicist, I respected what they said, and I honored what they told me. Their talent, however, you can hop on there, you can say whatever you want to say out of your mouth, and that is not on the publicist. That is on you. The publicist's job is to prep. I am prepping you. I am getting you ready to get on this platform. My job is done. You know what you need to answer, what you need to say. I told you what not to say, and I prepped you, even showed you clips and examples of this interviewer, of this reporter, of this outlet, and how they get down. Whether it's shady, whether it's gossipy, or whether it's very professional, I've trained you, I've prepped you days in advance before you hop on this platform. Now, after all that media training, and yes, they do pay for media training, I get to that as well. After I give you that, now it's up to you. So after that 30 minutes to an hour, however long you're on that little call or that interview, when you walk away from that whatever you said on there, that's a reflection of you now. That does not reflect on the team.
I think that what people have to understand is that you have to, to answer your question, Camille, I feel like once people grow into knowing what their purpose is, once you know what your purpose is, like Ty said, you know the difference between right and wrong. As an artist and as whoever, as professionals like we have to stay teachable. Like, we don't know everything, you know what I mean? Like, we're supposed to look and listen, but we still have to remain teachable in everything. And I think that as an artist, when you get, like, I've had artists and a PR can prep you, they can prep the shit out of you. And guess what? By the time the artist gets there, depending on their attitude and their mood, they're gonna say whatever they want to say. They're gonna forget it. They're gonna answer a question that they didn't even really know that they were asked. You know what I'm saying? So it just depends on the temperature level of the actual person. But I think in today's society, with the culture that we're in, I think that we have to remember that nobody is better than nobody. You know what I mean? We have to stay teachable. And I'm ignorant to a lot of things. Just because I am who I am, I'm still learning every single day, because I need to learn. I need to listen more. I need to reach out more. When you're in certain positions, you know, sometimes you feel like you don't need to. For me, I feel like I always want to connect with people, but then you have people that don't want to connect back. You know what I mean? Nobody wants to help you, or nobody wants to. Everybody feel like they so uppity, and it's like, who do you know in order for me to be able to help you? And I think that just now in the time that we're in, like, it should be more, I'm saying this, it should be more about love, but I just think people got to get their head out of their ass, honestly.
True.
Honestly.
Real quick, it's kind of like what Mimi said. Ignorance is terrible. I like that statement, because at the end of the day, I truly believe that you guys were making valid points about, you know, as a PR, you know, being able to be a trained artist and whatnot, it being up to them when the spotlight is on them. You know, there are times where people may think that they are capable, and maybe in that moment they're just not ready. But I think if we acknowledge that, we should be able to you know, be with that person and allow them and help them if we're in a place that can inspire that change for them, you know? And I just feel like, you know, if we can just utilize our information, utilize our gifts, and just come more together, we all can grow. You know, everybody's at different levels, and it's just like what Lyrical said, you know, nobody's better than nobody. And I can say this, being just in this conversation with you guys, you know, I'm learning a lot. I'm learning a lot about you guys individually, and I'm learning about us more together as a people, and I truly believe in us. And I believe that, you know, even things like this conversation can just, you know, spark a difference in people's minds, a difference in people's perspectives about how they view things, whether it's what's going on or whether it's in their day-to-day. So, yeah.
I'm glad you said that, because my next segue is one of the purposes of me creating Crib Conversations was simply that. I wanted to create a medium where at this stage of my career, I've been in the business for about 25, 26 years now. So at this stage of my career, it's important for me to have mentorship with the next generations of Black executives that are come in. You know, the younger generations were not blessed in the era that I came in 95, where there were real Black music departments, and you had collaborative groups of power individuals that came together, and you had mentors who came and put you in the right direction. It was just a magical time. So my question to you, because you have people that want to step in the shoes that we are all in, and Stacey, we can start with you. What one mistake do you think that artists and entertainers and creatives make on their road to celebrity, and how can we give them that gift of change?
They get one break and they think that that's it. They're, you know, straight to stardom, and they start burning bridges. They start getting an attitude, and they start getting, you know, like they change.
Relationships, yes.
I see it. I see it all the time, and it's really sad, because it goes to their head like instantaneously. And sometimes I think to myself, maybe they're just not cut out for, you know, like to be in the industry, and maybe it's a blessing that this is happening, and they're, you know, it's going to prevent them from moving forward, because if they're a jerk now, I can only imagine how much of a jerk they're going to be later on. But on the flip side of the things too, it's like I personally, I'm a lover, and I want to just help everyone and everything. So, you know, when I see it and I want to help somebody like that, but it's also, you know, I'm burning myself too, trying to help, you know, that person like get there. So it really is, it's like a catch-22. You want to help, but you don't want to be burnt yourself. So, I mean, the best advice that I could possibly give is to be nice and kind to everybody and enjoy the journey getting there. It's not even like, the end goal, the end result. It's enjoy the moment, enjoy the time now. Like, this is your journey. You're going to someplace bigger and better. You'll get there, but just, relax a little bit, take it in, like meet the people all along the way, embrace everybody. And when you get there, you'll get there.
Nice.
Amen. Amen. I totally agree with that. If I could add to that, I would probably say the same thing. I probably just would want to add that I feel like people sometimes in those positions kind of give up on people too quick, and it's hard for certain people. Imagine somebody trying to talk to you, for example, Camille, and them knowing who you are and what you've done. They may be, they may feel it in their heart that they're ready. Depending on how you are, you may give that person a shot. You may keep them on your radar and watch their growth, or you may just cut them out completely. And sometimes that affects people in the long run. I personally, as an artist, have been through situations where I felt like certain influencers, certain people of a certain celebrity could have worked with me a little more as somebody trying to get into their position or their shoes or whatever. And instead of doing that, they kind of just gave me the cold shoulder because they're so-and-so of such and such and this and that. And, it goes back to what was said before. Nobody's better than anybody. So, yeah.
Nice.
I would tell people.
I feel like we can, like Stacey said.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, no, I was just going to piggyback off what Stacey said. This is our journey. Let's love it. The one thing that connects us all, just like everybody in this family, all may like different things. We all may believe in different things, but the one thing that connects us all is love. We all love love. So we got to
love and acceptance. It's all about love and acceptance. That's what people want, love and acceptance.
And we got to be open to that. I'm giving you guys a hug. I appreciate you guys.
I'm giving you back.
Lyric, what were you going to say? What are some mistakes that people make on the journey to stardom?
I could talk about this for years to come, but let me just say this for any artist that's watching or any artist that's on here, because I've personally been through this a few times. And karma is really real to the people that drop the people that were in the beginning with them, at least on my end, I should say. So keep your day ones around. Put them in a position to work. Don't just have people around that's just around. Like, of course, the process in the beginning, everybody's excited. Everybody's doing their thing. You got this little advance that you think is your money, but it's really a loan, whatever. Educate yourself in terms of the business, but everybody that's on your entourage needs a job. And so that way you all are learning together. The artist is doing his thing or her thing, but you're learning together. And I just think that remembering that, just remembering that everybody, there's no I in team. You can't do it by yourself. Stop listening to everybody that's trying to get in your ear. Once you get to that level, they saw you get to that level, and now they want to come talk to you about what somebody could have been doing more, or what somebody should have been doing, or I can do this for you, or I could do this for you. They can only do that for you because the people that were back here built you up to be that person. That's the only reason they can come in and say, oh, I could do this, or I could do this more, I could do that. As an artist, have some integrity and have some loyalty and say, okay, well, if you can do this for me, then help me teach my team on what it is that I need to do. They were here with me from the beginning. And so that's the one thing that I tell so many people, because people really ask that question because they see people get to a certain plateau, and then it's like, damn, like, well, I used to see them with such and such, and you don't see them with that. Then you see them with all of these new people, and then all of a sudden the artist's career just kind of stops a little bit. Something is different. Something isn't working. And that's called karma, and that's called you smelling yourself and you seeing some stuff. So I just think but like I said, we're ignorant to certain things, and you have to go through certain things. But I try to talk to people that's now coming up in the game, even managers and even PRs. Like, you're going to have people that's always going to come around that's going to try you, but Once you know what your purpose is, like I said, then you don't have to get so intimidated about somebody coming in to snatch what you're doing. It's more so you can have a conversation and you can learn how to do business. A lot of people just get in this and they don't know how to do business. That's what people don't understand. There's no rule book to this. I don't care how many people wrote books on music. Like, there's no rule book to this. But I just think having some type of integrity, and then if you do get burned, just understanding that everybody wasn't raised. It's like that's a lot of people that, like, who raised you, know? So that's what I would say.
Nice.
I think for women in the industry, a lot of them get caught up sexually because, this is a man's game. So we are approached in different ways when we are on our way to success. So them having mentors, because you don't know how people were raised, like she said. Me, I was always taught that my body is a temple. My mom warned me, since I was a child about people trying to get in my drawers. So I've been ready for this war forever. You know what I'm saying? So I move different. So women, just understanding that you are going to get crazy. And learning how to block that and still pursue your goal. I mean, it's a craft. You got to really learn how to dodge dick. It is really a craft that you got to learn, but you got to learn it in order to be in this game, because it's going to be thrown at you all day, every day. And just, learning to preserve your lady, you're reserving your morals and your respect. It will take you so much further in the long run. I know hoes be winning. That's true. But the longevity of your career and the seriousness that people will take you as an artist, I think you preserve that when you preserve yourself. So just, I think women, I think that's a mistake that some women make, getting into the industry just because of the way it is, the way the world is.
Right. Anybody else before? Sarita, you want anything? Say anything?
I mean, I think that everybody has surmised this up properly. To Lyrical's point, also be a student of life, period, at all times. I think that it's nice to be nice, but when you know what you're talking about, make sure that you always are like the expert exactly of what you're talking about, which requires you to research at all times to be on point in every single way, show up in the world exactly how you're supposed to. In order to be taken seriously, then you have to be able to be at your craft. So I'm not going to take you seriously as an artist if you're not in the studio really recording, which means that you will make every single sacrifice to make that dream come true, because you believe in yourself enough that you know that it's going to require more than you just being nice. It's going to require more of you than for you to just have a nice flow. It means that you understand about how to market yourself and how to promote yourself before you tell me or anyone else of how to do that. I think also is that we all have to get into the mind frame where we chase the dream and not our competition. I think that, that the mind frame that you can't coexist with other women or coexist with other artists or anything is self-defecating in many ways, because you're going to have to coexist with other people if you want to be in this business. It's interconnected. The way that music or entertainment, film, television, anything that requires the glamorous things will require you to be in interspaces with other people. So you have to learn how to navigate personalities and figure out, okay, you didn't like me today, or you didn't want to give me a chance today, but I'm gonna make you come back to me. I'm gonna outwork you. Because see, that's the thing, like talent will take you very far to some degree, but your work ethic will take you out of here. Right. Because I've seen marginal artists go straight to the top simply because they will outwork the other person who thinks that they're already on.
Right.
Yep.
So,
I agree.
So Sarita just kind of hit on it. And before we close, this is my last for you guys. And then you got to let me know what you got coming up. And I want to start with verse. We talked about the negative of what you shouldn't do. So I want to hear from each one of you, what is one element to your success and what do you hope your legacy to be? Verse.
Perfect. Can I add last? I want to answer your last question too.
Yes,
I want to see, like, one thing about what's going on now. I feel a major shift going on in the world. but I feel like right now is the time where women can have their biggest platform. So it's like what y'all doing, the 5 of y'all would be on here and be in a man-dominant industry and give advice for everyone to use. That shows you that something's changing.
Amen.
And to go to my point today, I'm driving on Martin Luther King Boulevard, and I see a girl, she said she was like 8-year-old girl, and she was in front of a lemonade stand selling lemonade by herself. I was like, okay, this girl here by herself, but then I see the mom walking back and forth. But the girl here, selling waters, selling lemonades. At a young age, I'm looking here like I'm in awe. So I pass back. So I come back 4 hours later. She's still there. It's like selling lemonade, 7 years old. So I gave her $20 because like just to see what you're doing at a young age, you motivated me.
Right.
And for a young girl to do that is like the women, the world, like you said, like honoring from your body. Like you said, the hoes, they win for the short time, but the longevity want an independent, strong, successful woman who holds her own, and like Sarita was talking about, who is confident in what you're doing. Nobody wants to be around a weak woman. Y'all know it's a power thing, so it's like that's what I love. And to answer your question, another thing I see, one thing I pride myself on, one correlation I see with everyone, I see spirituality, and then I see stress. Being in the music industry has been one of the stressful things I've done so far. So I was like, how am I going to balance? So it's helped me learn how to control my emotions. So over this quarantine, I've learned to try to master my emotions. And to go back to Ty, I also meditate as well. I do yoga as well. And I've tried to find things to give me peace. So right now I seek peace. And that in turn has helped me with music so I can make the right decisions. And like Mimi said, not being under pressure. When you're under pressure, you make the wrong decisions.
So what's your legacy? What's your legacy going to be in this business first before we go to the next person?
To teach the next generation ahead of us. I want to be a teacher.
Nice.
Amen.
Ty, one element to your success thus far, and what do you hope your legacy to be?
Sure. I did want to touch on the last question really quickly if I can.
Okay.
Small one. I think that we need to stop looking at everyone else's blessings that hinders you, very much so. I'm not gonna look at what Camille's doing, like, oh well, damn, like she's an EVP, like why am I not an EVP? Or like a Sarita, like, oh well, she's doing prayer for this person. You can't do that because at the end of the day, everyone has their own route. And then you're gonna win when you have your own route and you focus on what you have going on here. Tunnel vision. I can't look at the next reporter because we're all different. So I just want us to always keep that in the back of our minds that we are all different and we all bring something different to the table.
Yeah.
If we all about the same thing, we both would not be here. Just want to touch on that point. To your question, the current question, I would say one element that I feel like I bring, I think I've learned to really just be myself. You know, I'm me all the time. There's nothing different that you see. What you see is what you get. I'm really nice. I'm a cool person, but I'm also here to work. So I always make sure that, even for this, I was prepared. I talked to my publicist. We had a conversation, explained what to say. Literally, that's why I had to add on to that because it's like, they may ask you this, they may ask you that. So I made sure that, you know, I always carry myself a certain way, which is why I'm always in these different spaces and in these different rooms because of how I carry myself, especially at a young age. The legacy that I want to live on, I do want to tap into different things being a mogul, but something that I realized that I didn't realize I do is I influence other people. I think a lot of times when you hear the word influencer, you think, oh, brand deals, and you think money, and you think like, oh, I have to look good. But on a consistent basis every day, I have maybe like 2 or 3 people who like DM me. It's like, oh my God, like you motivate me to do what I want to do. You motivate me to be a reporter, or you motivate me to do whatever they wanted to do. And for me, that's what keeps me going. Like if I could touch somebody every day in a different way and help them get to where they want to be, or have them recognize that they can do the same things that I'm doing, whether you're younger or older, my age or indifferent, it doesn't matter who you are or where you come from. You can do whatever you want to do as long as you put your mind to it and your heart is involved in it at all times. No one can stop you. You have this and you have this. And that's so powerful. And I want everyone in this group who are watching, those who are tuned in different places, just keep that in the back of your mind. You have your mind, your heart, and your soul. And those 3 things can get you to the top no matter what is in the way. So just keep that in mind.
Amen.
And that is awesome.
Miracle, you're next.
I think the thing that I mastered the most is peace. I now know how to find peace, and I know how to rest my mind. Like when you're in the business, you never sleep, you never rest. You can be asleep and you still up, because we're like doctors. We're on call 24/7. If an artist mess up, guess what? They call it. They call Johnny on the spot on the phone. They're waking everybody up. Such and such did this. So for me, I've just learned there is no balance. There's no balance in my life because I do everything. I'm a mother. I'm a basketball mom. I'm a daughter. I'm a sister. I'm crazy. But I've learned how to master peace within this quarantine, and I really I've searched myself because I know I'm so proud of myself to know actually what my purpose is. So my purpose is to be able to save one soul a day. I'm in the music business because that's where he wants me to be. I wanted to be a lawyer. I wanted to be a veterinarian. I just wanted to do something else besides music. And because I was a singer, I never pushed myself. And so now, wow, I'm in this industry, and the legacy that I'm leaving is that I'm a Black woman that got knocked down constant times. And I'm like one of the most powerful coming out of Chicago because I never quit. It didn't matter. Like I kept going. And I wanted to show single mothers that you can have 2 kids and you could cry, you could be hurt, you could be brutalized, you could be whatever it is, but that you can still get up and you can still fight and you can still make some money and you can still make people respect you. And I think once you get so in tune with yourself and you know that you're on this earth for God and not for nobody else, then it becomes understandable of what you're supposed to be doing. So I know how to have peace, period.
Nice.
Period, point blank.
Sarita,
Amen.
one element to your success, and what's your legacy, mommy?
You told it too?
Me? You said me?
Sarita, and then me.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry, restate the question one more time just to make sure I'm clear.
So one element to your success thus far in your career, and what do you want your legacy to be?
Okay, so one element to my success is the motivation to be what everybody said that I couldn't initially, and to make my family proud, most importantly, because my family made extreme sacrifices for me to be able to even dream as big as I have so far, and so much more that I would like to accomplish. So I know that when I go out in the world, I am not only reflecting just myself, I reflect my entire community that invested in me, my communal family, from the people who helped me grow up, because I'm a community kid. I'm not just someone or whatever. I was raised by my grandparents. So I understood the relationship about standing on the shoulders of other people at a very young age. And so my legacy is to be that strong back and strong shoulder for the next people who come up behind me, to give back, to make sure that I uplift as I climb as well, to make sure that I create space at a table for them to also have diversity, equity, and inclusion in spaces that normally women or Black women or Black people or people of color or marginalized communities do not always get an opportunity to have. And to use my voice specifically for a purpose, because I think that we oftentimes will go into the shadows as people who work behind the scenes, because we're seen, our work is to project other people. My job is to push you into the forefront. However, sometimes it requires that I stand up so that you'll also stand up to do what you need to do as an artist, to make sure that you are accountable for the things in life that you're supposed to do as well. So we all have a responsibility to enlighten, to encourage, and to empower other people. And that is the legacy that I want to be when people eulogize my life. I want to have used every single talent that God gave me here on this earth for purpose and for the next thing.
Nice.
Amen.
Mimi Simpson.
What has made me successful in any realm of life was understanding that anything is possible, and believing in myself and creating opportunities. When I worked in corporate America, nobody gave me any clients. I went and found them, and I went and showed them how I can make their lives better. So I do that in regular life too. Finding a place where I can be of service, showing how I can do it and executing. So just finding purpose and understanding how to connect it in your world. I think that's super important. And you know, like I think like Ty said, just having tunnel vision, understanding there are 7 billion people on this planet. It is enough room and money for everybody. There's no other you. You know, and there's somebody that's gonna fuck with your campaign. So just keep campaigning. It's somebody that need to hear what you got to say. It's somebody that done been through what you've been through. Keep campaigning. It's somebody that wanna fuck with it, and they got some friends, and they gonna start talking about you. That's all you gotta do is just keep campaigning, and somebody gonna fuck with it.
I like that. Keep campaigning. That's so cute. Warren.
I would say one element to my success is my belief, my faith. You know, I've been in a lot of situations where I tried to control it, and I truly believe in letting go and allowing God. We are of God, therefore we are God-like. And our temples are very important, not only how we maintain ourselves, but just how we just put that energy out into the world. So me believing in God allowed me to just give my all to him and truly believe that everything happens for a reason. You know, Camille, when you reached out to me to be part of this panel, you know, the first thing I said to myself is why? And then I had to talk to God. And then what I felt that he told me was that because I chose you, you know, don't question me. You know, I sent Camille to send you, to talk to you, to bring us all here together. And, you know, I'm truly thankful for that because at the end of the day, I'm a very confident person. I believe in myself. If I were to talk to myself and you guys were all flies in the room, I would tell you guys that I am one of the greatest of all time. But I have to put forth that effort and that work to prove myself. And I will always do that. And I will continue to do that. And that leads to my legacy. And I want to be able to inspire, just like a lot of you guys be able to inspire the next generation. I come from a small town, and the kids, you know, younger than me, they're all like Warren Legend because I'm always putting forth the positive energy. When I may come off like I'm a cool guy, you know, I do this and that, you know, I'm a handsome guy, but I don't put myself out there in a typical way. You know, I definitely, that talking about killing as an artist, talking about women, degrading women, you know, I have a very close relationship with my mother. The fact that I'm on this panel with so many queens, I love and respect you guys all, and I hope past this we can build. You know, we got the group chat. I'm saving all your numbers already. So, you know, I like love and unity.
Thank you, Warren. DJ Stacy Styles.
You guys are amazing, really. The whole spiritual thing, like I'm getting goosebumps the whole time because I'm very spiritual also, and I really believe like we are all here for a greater purpose.
Yes.
But really, I feel it. But I feel like too, you know, like our purpose and everything else. I feel like we're all always so hard on ourselves, and with success there comes failure. And with that failure, we need to take that and not beat ourselves up and not, you know, make it the ending of the world. And we need to let it empower us a little bit and to forge forward with it. Because I feel like a lot of times it stops a lot of people from going forward. They fall and that's it. They're down and, you know, it's really hard to get back up again. So I feel like, you know, talking legacies and stuff like that, like I was thrown into the pit, you know, as I said from the beginning. And I knew it was my calling and I knew it was something inside of me. And yes, I got lucky from the beginning, but I had to earn that and I had to go work for that. And I had to go, you know, like prove myself. And you don't have to fall into like the cookie cutter, you know, like realm of things either. You know, who would look at me and say, oh, she's a battle DJ, you know, like there's, you know, stereotypes of certain things too, you know, and it's just, that's just the realness of it. And you don't have to, you know, put yourself in the cookie cutter, get out of that, move out of the cookie cutter, make yourself, you know, without sounding cliche, if you dream it, you know, you can be it. And that's the truth. You know, if you feel it and you want it, go for it. It is this one life. There's nothing to stop you. Be good to yourself, be good to each other. And you'll go far, but really, like the main, most important thing is to be good to each other. Whatever that means for you, just be good to each other. Do good and be good.
I want to thank you guys so much. Every time I do this panel, I kind of get filled. You know what I mean? I don't know if you understand that, but I just kind of get filled with energy And I say this all the time. I know, my followers are like sick and tired of me saying it. I'm a big stickler on time, because this 45 minutes to an hour that we've given each other, we can never get back. So I really encourage people to use their time wisely. And we are all a brand, and we've all created our own brand. So with that being said, we must all promote each other. So within like 20, 30 seconds, because y'all are all talkers like me, I'm not pointing no fingers, but within 20, 30 seconds, I want you to tell your fans, what do you got coming up? What do we look for? Stacey, what's coming up with you?
So right now, everything is so topsy-turvy because all the concerts and all the shows have been put on the wayside. So you can check out onehotdj.com, which is going to be back up, and all my up-and-coming everything will be reposted because I don't know what's what right now.
One, is that ONE or the number one? Is that ONE or one, the number one?
ONEHOT.
OneHotDJ.com?
Yeah, and my Instagram is DJ Stacey Styles, and everything else is DJ Stacey Styles.
Mimi Simpson, what you got coming up? What are we looking for?
What do I got coming up? Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm working with the weed company. You know, I'm all about my medicine.
Are we getting samples? Because like you and this weed company. Shoot, go ahead.
Yeah, you sure can get a sample. What you talking about? You the queen. You absolutely can. Don't tell nobody. I sent it to you now. It's not legal here yet.
It's not legal in New York.
But no, I do. You can follow me on Instagram. I am Mimi Simpson, MEMESIMPSON. I do like virtual shows. I'm doing some outdoor fresh air shows. I haven't quite got back into the clubs yet. I'm actually gonna do a weekend though with Blackson and Levity Live in August. So
Nice.
I'll put the dates up.
I am Mimi Simpson. Lyrical Worth, what you got coming up? What's your artist? What's next?
Oh my God, in 20 seconds. If you follow me on Instagram, I'm gonna follow all of y'all back. I just want to say that. And all of my artists, I promote all of my artists. My son has a clothing line that I just pushed out to make him do something besides basketball because we don't know what's going on with basketball. But in terms of my artists, like we're just pumping out visuals and music. It's too risky right now to be able to like kind of move about. So we're just giving good soulful music, you know, a couple of words here and there, a couple of good hooks, you know, and just loving each other through the internet. So I'm definitely gonna follow you all. And thank you so much for having this. And my service did not go out at all. So I'm like so happy.
First, what are we looking for with your artist? What's next on the radar for you? You muted, Verse.
You muted.
Yeah.
Unmute, Verse.
Sorry. I'm excited about the cool thing about my artist, I've been managing him since he had around like 10,000 followers. He has over almost 130,000 now, and he has reached millions, multi-millions of views. So to see his, yeah, we just getting started. Cinematic signed us earlier this year, so it was like we blessed you working. Yeah, it was amazing. Just seeing it, it's like a formula, right? You follow the formula and you just keep adding to it and bettering it. So that's he dropping videos, dropping another third mixtape, just getting more out.
He just put out a single Guap. Was it? I guess so many.
Like with Gucci
Feel
Man.
like Guap with Gucci Man. Yeah. So check Verse out, one verse, and you'll check out his artist and Ola Rant. Sarita, what's up with your artist and you?
Okay, so Hood Celebrity just put out a song called Broke Boy the other week. Make sure you check that out. It's definitely getting a lot of streams.
I like the new single she got out. I like it.
It's great. So we are working on a visual for that. We have Josh Zantis coming out on KSR as well. He just recorded his video today. I'm working with Raheem Devon. I just had him on the Essence virtual stage last week. He has a project with the Colleagues coming, July 28th. And then Olivia currently has a single out. And then, for those of you who are looking to cut the cable cord, my cable client, which is Philo, PHILO, is offering a week free, 7 days. So you can go to tryphilo.com. And it's $20 a month for anybody who wants to cut their cable costs. And I'm working on their African American outreach as well as their anti-racism task force as well. And I'm leading the effort on that. So you guys
that bank girl, love it. Ty Cole, what do you got coming up? I know you all always on that IG. Go ahead.
So definitely looking for more interviews. This Friday I'm interviewing Avant, so that's pretty cool. And I have a couple more coming on the pipeline this month. Some big names that I'm still in shock that I got, but you know, God works all the time, honey. And definitely some more projects, so I act as well. So my short film actually just dropped the trailer, so it comes out in a month or two, I believe. So it's giving on Mimi as a small role, and I'm working on other projects. So I act, I produce. Can't really talk too much about it, but you'll definitely see a lot more of me in an acting and reality type of forum. So how are you? Keep a look at Taco TV at Taco TV on Instagram, baby. Okay.
And Warren went. We watching. Where my watch at? Go ahead, Warren.
Guys, real quick, I promise. First off, I'm following all you guys, so please follow me back. Some of you guys did, some of you didn't, but it's all love. Listen, real quick, got a new out called Lion, which stands for Like It or Not. It's doing really well. I actually just got it premiered on Shade 5 the other day. Also, it's been playing with CT. Still working the record. I got another project coming out with. It's my second project. It's called Father's Favorite. I'm looking to release that in fall. I'm still independent, but you know, exercising some options that I can't talk about right now, but I'm looking forward to that. And I'm looking forward to collaborating with you guys more, you know, furthermore. I know some of you guys are managers, some of you guys are media specialists, some of you guys have artists yourselves. I'm also a songwriter. I've actually been cooking up a lot of records, reference records for female artists, male artists, placement for TV films, you know, and you guys can follow me, on all social platforms. That's the name that I give to y'all, and I'm thank you, and I love you all. Appreciate you all, respect you all. God bless you all.
Thank you. So thank you guys. Again, my name is Camille Evans, CME_GRP. Please follow me. Please follow Cinematic Music Group. My next Crip Convos one-on-one is with Sean Perez, who worked with Diddy at Bad Boy. And our next Crip Conversations, I think, is July 23rd. I'm spacing them out, people, because I need to rest. So God bless and thank you to my panel, my inspiration, Sarita, Stacey, I love you, beautiful. Mimi Simpson, you make me laugh all the time. Lyrical, I get full of joy with you. Verse, you are it. Taco, you are fabulous. And Warren Went, we love you. And we're gonna be here to support all of you. And let's make sure that we stay together. I said when COVID is done, we all gonna be campaigning and partying at the same time.
Let's do it.
Amen.
I'm gonna DM you my address.
Oh, I got you, sis.
Group hug. Group hug.
Love you guys. Good night. Be well.
All right. Thank you. Thank you for the opportunity.